Hi, I'm Darci.
And I'm Kelly. And thanks for joining us for
And Another Thing,
where we talk about current events,
pop culture,
things we love,
things we don't,
all slathered in gobs of laughter,
and all the feels.
So grab a drink, sit back, and join us for
And Another Thing, Thanksgiving, and then
more.
some.
Oops.
Hey, Thingies!
Hello!
Happy Thanksgiving!
Yes! Look, I'm wearing autumnal colors.
You are, and I'm dressed for summer. I don't know what's going on.
If this was any farther away from my comfort zone, it would be like in Pacoima.
But it's so good with your red hair. I think that's perfect, actually.
I do love the sleeves, the
Yes.
Stevie Nicks sleeves. Okay.
Beautiful.
So hey, folks! Lots to talk about today.
So much show.
So before we get all ushy-gushy Thanksgiving-y, we're going to get Maddie, what's going on in the world?
Yeah. Holy crap. Let's start first with Mr. Paul Gosar, Congressman Paul Gosar, getting censured this week for posting an anime video in which he kills Andrea Ocasio-Cortez and threatens President Biden with knives, or swords or something like that.
How is that okay?
Well, here's the thing that I'm wondering is like, why is if somebody did that in the workplace, in a regular corporate workplace, they'd be fired.
Oh, no kidding.
Instantly. It wouldn't be like, no, we'll give you a slap on the wrist. We'll do a shame on the floor of the house. You know, it's just, that's the thing that just blows my mind. It's like, Kathy Griffin.
She got destroyed. She got canceled for that picture. We've talked about it a bunch of times, but that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
It's like she got destroyed for that.
And she's a comic. So there's a...
This is a councilman.
You know, yeah, this is a guy who's...
We're paying him.
It's, I know that our founding fathers argued vehemently with each other.
Absolutely.
They were kind of pricks, really. But this kind of thing, nobody was threatening each other's lives that I was aware of. You never hear about that. When did it become okay to threaten somebody's life? And that's not okay.
No, it's not. And I just feel like there's the lines between right and wrong are so blurred. There's not even any lines right now.
Yeah.
And okay, perfect segue.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but 18-year-old boys like Kyle Rittenhouse grow up to be people who don't have a problem with putting little animations of them killing people.
Yeah. Oh, and Matt Gaetz wants to give him a job as an intern in his office for the summer. Wants to get Kyle
Rittenhouse?
So yeah, little punk redneck entitled white boys like that grow up to be Paul Gosar, apparently. That's what's going to happen here.
Well, and there's just so much to unpack with the Rittenhouse thing. And is anybody shocked? I'm not shocked. I mean, was I disgusted? Yes, but I knew he was going to get off.
Well, here's what I don't understand is that at the end of the day, he's still, I can understand maybe there would have been questions as to whether his intent was involved,
right?
Blah, blah, blah. Maybe not murder. Why was he there in the first place? But maybe he didn't intend to murder anybody, but still, he killed two people. A manslaughter charge at the minimum, should have been brought down on him. Some kind of disciplinary action.
So many things were thrown out. The weapons charge was thrown out right away.
And that's why this happened.
And a video, the photo of him bragging, wearing a shirt that says "Free as F" with Proud Boys in a bar. That wasn't allowed. There were a couple things that were thrown out, and
the curfew, the fact that he was breaking a curfew. And so the thing is, the judge threw out everything that he clearly broke the law on, and therefore left it a question,
right,
according to professionals who know the law,
but
left it a question that they couldn't put their feet down and say he committed murder here.
And and everybody's saying, or not everybody, people are saying, well, the guy he killed was a child molester. Okay, fine. I'm not saying he was a good guy, but the people he killed are not on trial. They had their own trial. That's where you don't have vigilante justice in the street with a 17-year-old whose mother gave him a ride.
Well, wait. No, she didn't. That came out in the testimony that there's no evidence that she drove him there. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Okay.
She didn't. Right. That was
my bad for not doing due diligence on that.
That's okay. That's okay. But because that's the narrative that's still going around, right? Actually, because my question has always been, why wasn't the mother being brought up on charges as an accomplice? But there's apparently no evidence that she drove him there and dropped him off. And then some people are also saying it's the over state lines thing became a big deal. Drove over state lines to do this, but he lives a half hour from the border.
Right, and hits the rest of his family, his father and grandparents
go back to work. And,
So it would be like, somebody who lives,
When we lived in Binghamton, New York, which is at the bottom of the state, sometimes we used to drive over into Pennsylvania to shop for school clothes because they didn't have taxes. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I can understand that.
Right. But still, I think at the least, of a
something.
Charge.
Something. The kid should not be able to kill two people, whether accidentally or not, and go home and live his life. Right. He does. I'm sorry. I can't imagine anybody who thinks any other way. Like
people do. He
wasn't protecting. It's crazy.
So many people are saying that
he wasn't protecting his own home. If he was in his own home, then I could see that. That's true self-defense. But this is like.
I agree.
I just don't get it, y'all.
So, I wish this was, an isolated incident, but then I, was reading this week too, in upstate New York. Sorry, Darsh, the land of your people.
I know.
Christopher Belter, he's 18 now, or no, he's 20 now. He was 18 at the time, because that's important, or he was 17 at the time. Anyway, bottom line, he raped 4 girls in his family house. He was very wealthy. Of course, white, of course. And they used to call it the fun house because his parents had no rules. And then they found that the parents were actually buying booze and marijuana for the kids. And
now, when I went to high school, I'm sorry to interject here, but when I went to high school, there was a group of like the popular kids. They would have parties at their houses and the parents were there. The parents would take their keys, the parents would supply the booze, and if somebody wasn't able to drive, they wouldn't give them their keys back. They would stay at the house. And at the time, that was like so unthinkable to me. But now I look back on it and go, at least I know that they're safe.
Right.
I know that they're here,
My parents were a lot like that. Like, if you're going to do it here and be safe.
Not mine.
And here's the thing. He admitted to it. Mm-hmm. And, another thing is he was on 2 years probation.
And another thing.
In order that he wasn't charged awaiting trial, I don't know that another judge, an interim judge, put him on 2 years probation, and if he could get through those 2 years probation, he did not have to register as a sex offender. One of the things, it wasn't for the rapes, but it was whether or not at the time, so he must have been under 18, whether or not he had to register as a sex offender as an adult, or would be tried as an adult. So he broke the probation because one of the things is he can't watch porn. So they found a ton of porn on his computer, and he said, well, I've been watching porn since I was 7, and that's my way of self-medicating. That's what keeps my anxiety at bay. Anyway, so the judge who did
That's a new one.
So, yeah, it's medicinal porn.
Medicinal porn.
Drink to medicinal porn.
Cheers.
That's a great band name, too, medicinal porn.
It should be. Oh my God.
So then they're like, okay, all bets are off. You're being tried as an adult, blah, blah, blah. You're going to register as a sex offender. So he admitted, he pled guilty. The judge, a white, male, old guy judge, said, I prayed on this. I agonized over this, but I don't think incarceration or even partial incarceration is the right thing to do. 8 years of probation will teach him a lesson. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said.
Here's the thing. I don't know that sex offenders belong in jail because they're sick. You know what I mean? And I'm like, but he should have been at least been sent to a hospital.
Right.
You know
well,
what I
they
mean?
did say he was in a rehab program, and he was prescribed medicine to reduce his libido. So I don't know if it's like they do, what is that, like they call it?
They do that with sex offenders. They have a medicine that can completely
I forget what it's called, a medical castration.
Yes.
But then we all know that rape is not a sexual, it's a violent offense. So he'll find a way to do it. Yeah, he'll find a anyway. It's disgusting, and
if he doesn't act out that way, he'll find another way to get the control he wants. That's what the problem is. You know, listen, because I'm an armchair.
I know. I'm gonna post a link to the article here.
That's crazy pants.
But yeah.
Do you remember what town in upstate New York?
I don't. I wish I knew, but yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he was from Johnstown, where I'm from, the capital district.
Wealthy suburb of somewhere. I don't know, but I'll put the article. Not that you didn't come from a wealthy suburb, but they said it was a wealthy, you know,
I did not.
Country club kind of.
Economically depressed where I'm from. In fact, when I left in 1989, it was my county, Fulton County, was one of the top 10 most economically depressed counties in the entire United States, and had one of the highest incest rates in the United States.
Holy crap! Mm-hmm. Well, you left at a good time.
Good roots. Good roots.
Ooh, this wine is making me.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot our fan.
Okay.
We forgot our Beyonce fan.
That's right.
Sorry.
And I don't have my diva dabbers over here, so I'm gonna glow. That's right. I'm gonna glow. So, anyway, so those are the things we're mad about. So this is kind of a good segue into another. I can't even say this one with a straight face.
Again, this happened in upstate New York, apparently.
So there's a band called Brass Against.
Brass Against, yes, Brass
and
Against.
And it's a cover band that they do hard rock and roll, but with a brass band. Which sounds kind of cool, actually. Yeah. I didn't listen to any of the music, but we'll get to that in a second. Mm-hmm. So evidently they were doing this big concert. And the lead singer, her name is Sophia Urista.
Urista. U-R-I-S-T-A.
Remember that. She had to go to the bathroom, and they were doing a Rage Against the Machine cover at the time, and the lyrics were, "I wonder what the price on his head is." She invites a fan up on stage, has him lay down, she drops trow and pees on the guy's face. Mid-song, drops trow.
Classy. I'd like to add this, apparently this girl was a contestant on The Voice.
Yes, I did see that, yes.
So you know she's a good singer.
Right.
And it's like, I don't understand. In all the years that I was in a band, and
Did you ever have an inkling to tinkling?
No. I believe. Cheers to an inkling to tinkling. No, but you know, I was in bands where the lead singer was gay and was very flamboyant and did plenty of things that I didn't feel necessarily comfortable with, but there was no peeing on the fans. I'm like, what, were you raised by wolves? I mean, come on. What would make anybody?
And she said in her half-assed apology, like, I'm not a shock artist. I just went with it. I always, I give my most to my music, and her band was like mortified. They went on Insta right away.
Yeah, they were like, this isn't what we do.
This is not us.
They're like, we don't know her. That kind of thing. Not that bad, but.
And then she finally apologized, like, again, another half-assed apology. But I guess before this happened, she said, I gotta go to the bathroom. We're not gonna make it off stage in time. She set it up. Okay, so the funny part of this, it's all funny. It's all ridiculous. That the fan has not complained. He has not come out at all. You haven't heard boo, and they gained 10,000 followers on Instagram since the video came out.
No such thing as bad publicity, kids, apparently.
And people were saying, I came for the pee video, but I stayed for the music. You guys are great. And then some model, I can't remember who, she said, that is so cool. That's the most punk rock thing ever. So it didn't hurt them much. But it's pixelated, but I watched the video to do my due diligence, my homework for the show.
I passed on that.
I was going to say, and now it's on my computer forever.
Now that's your medicinal porn.
No.
I just don't understand. I am a person who likes to believe that when I get on stage and I'm singing, I give
let it go
1,000%. And you can't. I tell my students all the time, don't be afraid of the ugly. You have to be willing to be vulnerable. But never in my life do I think peeing on somebody is given the truth of the song, you know?
Well, and from what I gather, I mean, they are a hard rock band, but they're not like an Ozzy eating the head off a bat band. They're not shock artists. So it was very...
Not if everything's full of brass and big band oriented.
I'm thinking you know, and
right. Like, it sounds like these people are real artists, real musicians, and that should be able to stand alone. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, in our, you know.
But one person said, and I don't know, we want your opinion. What if a male did it? What if a male? I mean, I think probably during like the 70s, like the Led Zeppelin days, I think there was a lot of stuff going on. I think they brought girls up on stage.
People were streaking through sporting events and award shows at that time too.
I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Morrison took his out and had somebody go down on him during a concert. I wouldn't have been shocked by that. So is it because she's a woman? I don't know. You tell me. I think that's, I mean, and we're artists. That is a line that cannot be
crossed.
Yeah.
Because that's not just you being shocking. That's you assaulting somebody else.
She didn't say
possibly affecting their health. You know, it's like, nah.
Well, and it's not like she even said, you know what, I can't get off stage, guys, deal with it, and went behind an amp and, you know. Which I'm sure has happened too.
I'm sorry, I gotta pee. Y'all play.
Yeah,
you know?
riff a little bit, whatever.
Yeah,
but I mean, she made a spectacle of it. So, yeah, tell us what you think about that.
Let us know what you feel about Eurista the urinator.
The inkling for tinkling. So yes. So now that we've segued into a little bit more lighthearted, so it's almost Thanksgiving, y'all.
Yes, yay! Just a few days, and let us know what you're doing for Thanksgiving. This is a year.
Or recipes.
Yeah.
Food things seem to always get a bump, so we would love to see what your favorite recipes or what your traditions are.
Yeah.
Or if you have family coming that you haven't seen in a while, send us a pic of your family. We'll give you a shout out on the next show.
Yes. What are you doing?
I'm going to my brother's and his girlfriend's, thank goodness, because I've been making it for the last, I think, 10 years.
She's been doing Thanksgiving for a long time.
And I am, you can't tell from me sitting, but I am in really bad shape right now, arthritis-wise. And there's a lot of health things going on that I'm trying to fix. So not only am I going to their house, she has a guest room that I could stay over so I could drink.
Nice.
If I want to, and I could bring my dog. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to have a little overnight, almost a little vacay.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Nice. I ended up at the last minute. Weirdly, my normal people who generally host Thanksgiving are just didn't mention it this year, and I was like, I am not spending Thanksgiving by myself again, especially now that I'm vaccinated. Everybody I know is vaccinated. There's no reason for me to be by myself. So it turned out, long story short, I'm hosting two of my friends over here, and the funny thing is we all have super strict dietary restrictions. I'm supposed to be watching my sugar, the trifecta of dietary restrictions. One is gluten-free because she actually has celiac, not because she's trendy, but because she's actually allergic to gluten. And then one is allergic to all the nightshade vegetables and has cholesterol issues. So I'm like, for me, I can eat whatever I want, really, because it's a treat day for me.
Yeah. And
so
I'm not
going to get
anaphylactic
sick
shock,
but in trying to find things, they're going to bring things that they know they can eat. Right now, my big thing is I have to make a turkey by myself, which I've never done and I'm terrified of. And finding a dessert that we all can agree on.
But I said strawberries.
Yes,
just a bowl of strawberries
and Splenda, and we're, woo. But like, I'm a girl, I have to have pumpkin pie, so I will have a pumpkin pie, but where the rest of it goes, it can't stay in my house. There can't be leftovers. So
if you don't make it yourself, I think they make mini pumpkin pies. Like
Do they?
Ralph's. Yeah, I would check that.
You know what though? I don't care for their pies. I just think
I agree. Their cakes are good, but their pies are not.
They're just
Sorry,
taste.
Ralph's / Kroger for where you are in
all
the country.
the stores, you're not doing it for me. But anyway,
good.
That's another thing. But I'm just glad I'll be by
pumpkin,
myself. Yeah, I've made pumpkin pies before, and it's fine.
They're pretty easy.
Yeah.
So what are you guys making? We would love to hear.
Tell us.
And show us pictures.
Yeah, what are your traditions? What do you have to have at your Thanksgiving
We're
dinner, or
actually
it's not Thanksgiving?
not doing a turkey this year.
Oh.
They're doing ribs and a tri-tip. We're doing like a
Yum.
southern, and I'm supposed to make real like church casserole mac and cheese. And I'll make some sort of dessert.
Sunday potluck mac and cheese. That sounds
Yeah,
good.
not the boxed kind. With
Not the bun. That's not mac and cheese in my world anyway.
No.
I don't
That's
eat that
craft
stuff.
dinner.
That's gross. Anyway,
So I mentioned last time that we are foregoing things we love for November and December, and we are doing people we love.
yes. But before we do that,
What?
one thing we forgot to mention, people we don't love, we had our first troll this week.
We did.
Yep, somebody who just bashed us about the Colin Kaepernick special, who it was clear he didn't watch it.
Right.
Yeah, he was like, oh, in the first 5 minutes I was done, he's a race baiter, he's a blah, blah, blah.
And then he made a fat comment on our Halloween picture. And then I did a little digging and looked on his picture and his wife's picture. And guess what? She's a fat woman. So I wonder if she knows, which I would love to send her a message, but I would have screenshot, but I won't. So yay, we're coming up. We got our first troll.
Have made it. We have our first troll. That said, those of you who love us need to slide in.
That's right. We can't just have trolls.
Right. Go to bat for us, y'all. Let's hear your comments about how much you love us. So anyway, we are not needy at all, are we?
No.
Okay.
And Shelby, I know you always do, so
yes,
thank you.
Thank you. Those of you who do watch and comment, we appreciate it.
Yes,
those of you who don't,
people who
come
say
on.
lovely ladies and Heidi Appy, yes, thank you all.
Thank you. Anyway, we just had to mention that really quickly.
No, I'm glad I forgot to mention that.
Leading on to
people we love.
People we love, yes.
So we're going to highlight this week our very good friend, Candice Colbert.
Yay!
Who does Silhouettes by Candice.
Yes.
You can find her on the Instagrams. And we'll put all of her information. And she's amazing.
Here are a few samples of what she does. And she literally, you guys, it takes her 3 minutes. You sit there and she cuts your silhouette out of paper in 3 freaking minutes. She's just wicked. She's a witch.
I have one that she did at Mandy's wedding weekend, and I couldn't find it. I wanted to find it. It's in the book. I have my officiating book that I put it in, and I couldn't find it. But it was freaking. I mean, she did a caricature of me too that I still have on my wall. That is so good. So good.
I should ask her to do a caricature of me because I don't like my profile.
Yeah.
I just so I'm like, no, get rid of this and get rid of this. And she's like, but that's not you. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that.
But her work is amazing.
She's
and
amazing.
You still have time probably to order. And she can do it off a picture.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit live for her.
And your pet.
She has amazing animal ones too.
Yep. She is incredible. So if you want a really unique gift, and literally there's only about 5 people in Southern California that do this. This is a dying art, you guys. You
can hire her for a party.
Yep.
She does it for parties and weddings all the time. You can have your whole wedding thing, and then she'll make a double so that the bride and groom have a book of all the people that attended. Yeah. She's amazing.
Yeah. It's a wonderful art form, and she's the best at it that you'll find. So.
And she's super lovable. Yes. So you would want her at a party for
super profesh and so kind and so loving and so generous and so cheerful and just hire her.
So we are blessed to have her in our lives.
Yes, we are.
And hopefully you will too. And
yes.
So yes. And next show we will highlight another one of our very talented friends.
We will.
And in the meantime, stay safe, stay sane,
and healthy and hopeful.
Happy Thanksgiving,
everybody. Guys. We love you.
Cheers.
Cheers.